Remove features. Gotta love them. Or sometimes hate them. That's why today we're gonna be ranking things that were removed from Clash of Clans to see which ones I like to see return or the ones I'd rather not. How'd that get there? Oh, that's right. It's today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Available on PC and mobile. Explore millions of champion combinations and master various techniques as you take on raid bosses, dungeon runes, campaign battles, and PvP arena matches. My favorite champion to bring along being the Royal Guard. He's incredibly powerful, especially against bosses because of his ability to scale damage based on the enemy's max HP. Killer option for PvE gameplay. Aside from that, there are 5 new champions coming this month: Sweet Tundra skins, Fall Overhaul, and more. If there's ever been a time to start playing, it is certainly now. Using my link or scanning this QR code, new players will be able to get this $30 value starter pack all for free when downloading the game. So go on over there and click the link. With all of that being said though, let's get right into today's video.
Let's do this.
Sell buildings. I want to say I want the feature back because it was cool, but I know it wouldn't make much sense and it would probably ruin some things like wars, so I'm kind of glad that this is not a thing anymore. Would I mind it though? Not really, because it wouldn't impact me much. I'm sure they would put restrictions in place if it were to ever return, which I highly doubt. Personally though, I wouldn't even care about the feature since I've spent so much time upgrading my base. I mean, years of progress. Who would be stupid enough to just remove a tower that they spent weeks and probably months upgrading? So I'm gonna put this at C because I don't think it would bother me much, but I still think it wouldn't be a good idea. Lightning looting, all the way at the bottom. I don't care if it helped me get my Barbarian King years back. It was very annoying to log on and see that you got attacked by a lot of people who just dropped lightning spells on your Dark Elixir. The worst thing about it, as a Town Hall 7 back in the day, you had no Dark Elixir drill, so the only way of getting it was to put in that work, attack for it, work for it, only to have someone just take it from you with zero effort. I'm really glad this is no longer a thing, and I feel like being at D tier is where it should be. Training costs. Okay, this one is one of the more recent changes to happen. If you haven't played Clash of Clans in a hot minute, basically all training costs were removed, so training an army is now free. That includes troops, spells, siege machines, everything. Now, I'm not surprised this happened. Things in the game just kept getting cheaper and cheaper every year or two, and removing the cost for training armies was eventually gonna happen, right? Did I expect it though? No. But am I surprised? Also no. This is very good for the game though, and I'm glad the training cost was removed. Would I mind if it was added right back tomorrow? Not at all. I mean, we played like that for nearly 10 years, so I don't think many people would be upset if they just changed their mind tomorrow, which won't happen, but it's just an example. Global chat, okay? I'm sorry for the clickbait on the thumbnail. I don't hate global. I actually rather enjoyed it and found it hilarious sometimes. And yes, I've said before that I thought global was a bit overrated, which I still think that's true, but I really want the feature back regardless of why it was removed. It doesn't matter why or if it was a good reason or not, people really want global back and I'd like to see its return as well. Definitely S tier. I know I'll get comments about this, but 50% of that decision was my honest opinion, and the other half was because memes. There is one thing I'd like to say though, and I'm almost certain that this will never return. There were a lot of issues with global, and some of them were very, very serious. On the other hand, the world went too soft. Rare stone obstacle. I don't have this stone, so I can't relate to it in a more personal level. I don't know if anyone relates to it in a personal level, but yeah, I just see it as a cool rock. I mean, it looks cool. Honestly, I would say C tier because no one is complaining about this rock being removed. It's just one of those cool facts, I guess. You can also still see it in the game, so it's not like it was removed entirely. Players just can't get it anymore, so C is where it should be. Blue walls. Yeah, I forgot to record this part for some reason, so I'm doing it 2 days later. If I sound different, that's why. Anyways, blue walls, the old level 11 walls. Instead of being the lava walls we have today, they were blue. They were also the highest level walls at the time, but right before Town Hall 11 came out, so these walls were changed. I actually disliked the way the blue walls looked simply because Town Hall 10 was red, lava, and hot, and then there were the walls. They were blue. Why? Absolutely an eyesore. Did not match at all. I'm gonna have to put it at C though, because although I hated the way they looked with Town Hall 10, I mean, what are you gonna do about it? It's not gonna ruin the game, right? You're only at Town Hall 10 for so long, especially nowadays where you're Town Hall 10 for like 2 days and wha-bam, you're maxed. Not really, but you get the exaggeration. National flags. Also a very recent thing removed from the game. In my eyes, makes absolutely no sense to me. They basically said it was because they wanted to separate Clash of Clans from real life references. The thing is, why wait almost 10 years to remove this stuff? It almost seemed like there was a different reason behind the curtain, possibly politically motivated or to not offend anyone. Even if I think the reason for removal was kind of sus, it's not like a deal breaker, you know? I still wish they didn't remove it though. I'm gonna have to put it at A tier because that seems like a good spot for me. Border customization. Yes, you could once change the border of your clan badge, but today that is not chosen by the clan. Oh no. The game chooses it for you. I believe it is dependent on the clan level. I don't even think they ever gave a reason for this, which is why it makes me so upset, because I'm such a fiend for customization. Why remove it? I'd love to see this added back, not as much as global, but because of the fact that there was very little reason, if any at all. I mean, they never said anything about it. I just put it back, man. It has to be an S for me. As I said, a lot of that decision is because I love customization. Selling decorations. Okay, this had very little impact to the game, if any at all. I mean, who cares, right? You used to be able to sell the decorations back to the shop. Today, you simply stash it. I don't think anyone cares, like I said, so I'm just gonna put this at B. It's whatever. Giant bombs doing 1.5 times more damage to hog riders. This was an almost perfect fix to hog attacks back in the day. Why? Well, hogs could 3-star any base, even town halls above you. It was crazy. Allowing the giant bombs to do more damage, which were already used in this double configuration, directly nerfed the strategy. Now this extra damage the giant bombs caused was actually removed, which is what we're talking about here. Sorry, I felt like I needed to explain what the hell this was. This damage multiplier was removed at the same time the bomb tower was added, along with a ton of other balance changes, so in reality, it wasn't that big of a deal. I'd say B because it wasn't a bad feature, but the purpose of it was made obsolete. So yeah, it's whatever, who noticed, and if there was a change, then it was very minor. Reloading defenses and rearming traps. This is an automatic C tier. I'm really glad I don't have to log on and rearm and do everything again. But would it break the game or matter that much? Absolutely not. Putting it at D would mean I don't want this added back, and that's just not the case here. It would be annoying to do again, but I wouldn't mind doing it if I had to. I mean, I spent a while doing it and it wasn't that bad. Town Hall sniping. If you don't know what this is, it is basically when you used to leave the town hall outside for free shields, and farming was a breeze because simply grabbing someone else's town hall also gave you a win. Supercell made some changes in 2015 to put an end to the entire thing. Is it a good thing that it was removed? I feel like it wasn't. But this is also very subjective depending on how the player liked to play before the strategy was removed. Personally, I was a huge fan of town hall sniping and old school farming because that's the way the game was when I started playing. With that being said, on this ranking, I feel like most won't agree with me unless you were playing before 2015 or love the idea of old school farming, but I really want it back. It may or may not have had a good reason to be removed, but I would happily accept town hall sniping again. In my eyes, there was nothing wrong with it, and it was a rather relaxed way of playing. Waterfall. Okay, we have the Waterfall back, but it ain't the same. It's like saying we have iCarly back, which is true, but they're all like 30 and half the cast is gone. See what I'm saying? It's not the same. Anyways, the OG Waterfall. When this was removed in 2012, I wasn't playing, so I don't know how upset the community was, the 12 people playing. But I remember for years and years, people kept asking for this to be added back, which it did. I'm gonna put it right in the middle simply because we got a different version of it back, which looks great. But if we were to get the exact Waterfall back, I'd imagine that people would love it for 2 days and just forget about it. So I don't think it would impact the game in any way. Facebook login. For the longest time, there was a button in the settings that allowed you to log in through Facebook, but it was eventually removed, I believe, earlier this year. I think it had to do with no longer supporting it and also Supercell ID being the better option for adding friends, but honestly, I'm gonna sound like such a boomer here for a second, but I use Facebook sometimes, mainly to say happy birthday to people and whatnot. Yeah, boring stuff, I know. Trust me, I'm not that old, I'm only 23. Anyways, it was really cool to connect all of your Supercell games to that Facebook account to see which one of your real life friends plays that game. With that being said, I don't miss it, but I would also like to see its return one way or another. If not, that's fine. We all know everything on this list will never come back, so it's just hypothetical, you know? Don't hate me. Tapping collectors one by one. Okay, this is using the word removed a little loosely here, but I wanted to mention it anyway since it's such an iconic thing to OG players that was essentially removed. You basically tap the collectors one by one to collect the resources, whereas today, you tap one and they all get collected. Now, I was originally going to put this at B tier, but then I realized that sometimes it was such an annoyance and it kind of feels good to just get it over with nowadays. So yeah, I'm kind of glad it's gone, but I also wouldn't mind it much. Heroes sleep. The same thing you could do with the clan castle, but you could also do it with heroes as well, where they would sleep through a defense and not get hurt. Now this was no longer needed because heroes now automatically fully heal up after a defense. So yeah, we didn't exactly need it. It didn't change anything. The feature is obsolete. You know where this is going. Brewing spells with gold. Okay, this doesn't even matter today because spells cost nothing now, but we can still look back and remember how this change impacted the game. If we still had to pay for spell brewing, I wouldn't want it back, but I also wouldn't mind it as much. I mean, before the update, we were essentially doing the exact same thing with siege machines. They costed gold, so yeah, not exactly the same thing, but having something in your army cost gold wasn't the end of the world, so I'd say C tier. So guys, I think that should be it for my ranking of these removed features. Of course, there were a lot more things that were removed, very specific ones like Inferno Tower dealing so-and-so damage to this troop or stuff like that. I didn't want to include much of it. I thought the Hog Rider one was a little different, so that's why I included it, but the others, Anyways, if you guys are enjoying these ranking videos, let me know down below, and also, feel free to suggest more things I should rank. That's always cool to read. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Havoc Gaming out. Peace!